about 8 minutes before we start. Hi Ruth, hi Tricia. I've just been standing here watching. There's been dozens and dozens of small birds just flying in front of me. It'd be impossible to catch on the camera. Hi Walter, hi Ruth, hi Mari. As I said, there's just been dozens and dozens of tiny birds flying past me from right to left. And I don't know, is there a party going on? You might see little dots flit across your screen. I'm not even going to try and zoom in on them. They're just too tiny. You might hear them though. Who else has joined? Hi Mari. Well, it's a gorgeous day. Absolutely stunning. I count them, two clouds in the sky. One there. Hi Carla Forte. 2 clouds. You better catch them. We might not see them again. All right, I am going to slowly start making, thanks for the follow Ruth, slowly start making my way towards Lincoln Rock. And I'm expecting to see a lot more spring native wildflowers out since the last time I was in this area. Here's one here that we'll probably see it again, but I'll just get you a little look at this one, which is a kind of hakea. It's a yellow flower. It's one of our native wildflowers, and I can see there's a little pink one over there in the bushes, but we probably may not be able to get too close to that. Let's see if we can get in close. I've got a railing between me and it, so probably won't work. It's kind of hid, tucked away in the undergrowth there. All right, let's start walking towards the rock. I've got this little car park which is situated away from the rock because it was getting damaged. Here we go, I've just found something else that's new, interesting for you. This is really lovely actually, the little flower on this. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm not even sure what this is. Possibly a kind of acacia. So this is the path that we're going to take towards Lincoln's Rock. Am I zoomed in still? Let me just check. There we go. With all its warnings. Nearest toilet 4 kilometers away. Warning, Achtung, attenzione. All of that. Always interesting to me that as we go into autumn, you are going into spring. Yes, that's exactly right. I love it. I love the differences between all the different parts of the world. I'm inspired by difference. I love exploring new things, new places, and new experiences. Do you know what? I'm going to take this tiny little track here and see where it leads before we head down to the rock. Hi Lee. Hi Adrian. I haven't been along this path before, so let's see where it leads. With any luck, it'll take us just a different way to Lincoln Rock. A bit of an unofficial path. It might have been bush bashed by somebody, so yeah, not sure. We'll see how far we get. See if we can see all those little birds that were flitting past me. Hi Michelle. Hi Una. No, this doesn't go anywhere. We'll go back. Oh, wait on. Give it another couple of minutes. My channel is called Explore with Lynn, so let's do what we brand ourselves as, hey? Let's explore. Snakes. Not at this time of year, Kathy. It's too cold for them. They'll still be hibernating. And to be perfectly honest, in more than 20 years of living in the Blue Mountains, I think I've seen 2 snakes. There's lots of wilderness, and by comparison, and really only a small margin of bush to residential interface. So, yeah. Hi, Takashi, Valerie, Sue and Mark. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lawrence. We're still a couple of minutes away from starting, and I've just decided to explore a little path I stumbled across and see where it takes me. And it takes me to this big rock. Hi, Lawrence. Thanks for the follow, Kathy. Good morning, Susanna. Hi, Dee. Hi, Mum and Dad. Is it cold over there on the beaches this morning? It's freezing up here this morning. Look at these little wildflowers just coming out. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. Don't even know what these are. Little pink things. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to continue along this path towards Lincoln Rock. We're kind of winging it a little bit this morning, doing a bit of a variation on what I normally do. Hi, Hannah. Look at the cliff face across here, and we're starting to see some of those little birds that I was seeing. I don't know what they are. Let me see if I can zoom in on some of them. Stay still for me. No idea what they are. They're not fairy wrens, I know that much. Anyway, my chances of seeing them standing still for the camera are next to zero. But this is gorgeous. Look at the rock here with the tessellations and the moss growing in amongst it. Let's see if I can find a spot where I'm not in the frame, or my shadow rather. I'll try and turn this way. That's a better shot for you, isn't it? There we go. How interesting is that? That's really cool. And then if I tilt it up just a little bit, we get that cliff face in the background as well. Some lovely wildflowers over here. Try not to step on the moss. It's lovely to see all the spring wildflowers coming out. Are they swifts? I doubt it, Una, because the swift is, as far as I know, is an introduced bird. I think they might be something like a spotted pardalote, is one thought I had. Oh, there's one that's quite close. Stay still for me. I can see that it's got a green back, a white cheek. Do you see it? There it is there. Okay, there's your chance, everyone, if you can identify that from that photo. They are gorgeous. And there's dozens of them. All right, now, can I resume the trail from here? We're going on an adventure, guys. I'd hate it if I had to double back. Okay, I'm going to try bush bashing across this way. This looks like a possibility. And I can see Lincoln Rock just over there. Can we get to it? Spotted pardalote? Yeah. Random guess, Susanna. All right, this is a gorgeous spot up here. Look at this. So that's where we're headed, that rock there. Ah, yeah, I've always got to watch where I place my feet. I go over on my ankles really easily. Oh, well done. Thanks for doing that. Excellent. Did the postcard turn out okay? Was it clear? It was looking kind of clear through the camera. I'm getting 5 bars, so this is the best signal I've had in a tour in ages. Look at this view. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Jane. Kind of not quite looking in your direction just at the moment. I'd say we're off slightly to the west of where you are. And I just noticed, almost chattering away and looking at birds and what have you. We're 3 minutes into the tour, for heaven's sake. Alrighty, let's turn this camera around. Good morning, everybody. Let's find a spot where the sun isn't creating that. Here we go, turn this way. Good morning, everyone. For anyone who hasn't met me, my name's Lynn, and we're meeting today in a spot just outside of the village of Wentworth Falls in the Blue Mountains. And before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that we're meeting today on the traditional lands of the Darug and Gundungurra people and pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Okay, so on that note, let's get off my face and back to this stunning view. We're standing on top of King's Tableland. Hi TD, hi Jane, hi Aaron, and hi Tiffany. Good morning, everybody. We're standing on top of King's Tableland, which is just to the south of Wentworth Falls Village, and directly in front of us here is Mount Solitary. You may already have noticed that the mountains aren't mountains as you probably would expect to see them. In fact, it's basically a large plateau or tableland, and these valleys and gorges have been formed over millennia through erosion. Let's keep walking. We're heading in this direction. This is Lincoln Rock over here, and that's where we're heading for. And for anyone who's joined late, I've gone a bit off script this morning. I saw a little track and thought, let's follow that. And so here we are. Here we are, bush bashing across, trying to find our way back to the road, which I confidently know is over there near those telegraph poles. So what we're noticing here as I walk through here is the very stunted vegetation, because of course we're up high on the plateau in a very exposed location. So the constant wind from the west results in this stunted growth and very little in the way of tree growth. So we'll be on the lookout for spring flowers. Most of the vegetation around here is this kind of thing. It's called a stunted she oak. It produces a large seed that the cockatoos love. Okay, let's pause and have a look at the view from here. And welcome new arrivals. Who do we have? Pretty sure I said good morning to DT. I don't recall saying hi to Chantel or Norman. I reckon new names pop in to the chat and you just don't see them. Or you see them later and then you don't know if you said hello or not. Welcome to anyone who I missed. There we go. No mist today. It's a lovely clear morning. Hi Andrew. Hi Natalia. Okay. Thanks for the follow, Andrew. And if there's anyone who's new on the tour that hasn't met me before, if you wish to see more of these kinds of tours, out and about walking in the wild places of the Blue Mountains, for example, in Australia, follow my channel for notifications, and you'll get them whenever I post a new tour or post an update about an existing tour. There's a helicopter over there. Hi, Jan. I'm going to zoom in on this. This is quite lovely. That rocky outcrop over there is just the start of Lincoln Rock. So it's where are we? What's the date today? It's the 12th of October. 12th of November. Can I get my month right? 12th of September, for heaven's sake. What sort of helicopter are you? I didn't catch the signage. Come on, we've all had those sort of moments, haven't we, Tiffany and Jane? You can relate. 12th of September, which means that in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere, where we take the seasons from the first of the month, we're 12 days into spring. Do you hear that? Those are black cockatoos. Come this way, come this way. Come this way, come over here, guys. I love black cockatoos. There's something that's attracting them over that way. Come on, over here. Excellent, Tiffany. Look, if ever you get great shots like that, please post them in the Hago Voyages group. I love to see people's postcards because I don't get that opportunity to take those pictures during my tour. You're my camera. I'm your legs and you're my camera. Here we are. We've made it back to the main track towards Lincoln Rock. That wasn't too painful, that little detour, was it? Okay. Looks like the cockatoos aren't coming over here. Never mind. They sounded lovely. Yes, so this is the kind of vegetation and terrain that we have on King's Tableland. And it's largely these stunted or dwarf she oaks intermingled with banksias, like that one there. And again, it's a stunted form. Hi, Laura. And what I will do, we'll be on the lookout for various different kinds of plants that are interesting, that you may not have seen in your part of the world. Unlikely that we'll see any animals at all, Tiffany. The reptiles are all still hibernating because it's too cold. And most of our wildlife is nocturnal. So although we have wallabies, possums, lots of other mammals, echidnas, wombats are all local to the area, we don't tend to see them in daylight. So here we are, we've arrived at Lincoln's Rock. And it was only renamed a few years ago. 2013, in fact, it was renamed to Lincoln's Rock. Prior to that, it was known as Flat Rock. And in a moment, you'll see why it was called Flat Rock. As you can imagine, it was a fairly unofficial name. It was also known as Wedding Rock because it's a place that couples like to come to to have their photo taken because of the outstanding views. There's no rails, safety rails here. Yeah, good question, Jane. I'll just get up here and then I'll tell you all about Lincoln. Not Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so Lincoln Hall was a local mountain climber who lived in this area for more than 20 years. And his greatest claim to fame is that he was declared missing, presumed dead, at the base camp in the Himalayas when he didn't return overnight. And then rescuers found him the next day. So he came back to life. He died in 2012 from asbestos-related illness, mesothelioma. No handrails, Susanna? Yep. So, as anyone who's done this tour with me before will know, I will take great care. There's the edge there. At this point, while it looks quite alarming, there's a couple of things that'll stop me along the way if I do actually trip and go over the edge. It's not a direct fall, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to get that close. What I will do is look along the rock line for you and allow you to get a great postcard looking out towards the south over the Jamison Valley. So here, as I said earlier, that's Mount Solitary in the distance. Hi, Elizabeth. Did I say hi, Elizabeth? Hi, Sherry. Oh, thanks, Tiffany. No, I won't trip. I promise I won't trip. And then over to my right here, tucked away in a little corner out of sight, just beyond that ridge, is the actual waterfall named Wentworth Falls, after which the village is named. I'm still trying to find a great way to get you to a spot where we can see it, that I don't have to go down thousands of steps. I'm going to explore a possibility after this tour. All right, so we're going to clamber over these rocks here. This is where I need to watch my footing. Hi, Mark. Let's have a little look this way. It's a combination of basalt and sandstone, I believe. So the bits that are protruding are the basalt, and it's the sandstone that's eroded away. All right, so we'll go this way. I'm still far enough away from the edge and looking for easy places to climb up. There's no one here yet. I managed to get here before the tour buses. Yeah, I'm back away now, Susanna. So I really like the way this is formed through here. You can imagine it may have been a water channel at some point. Jane, I understand that it's all formed through erosion, in exactly the same way that the Grand Canyon was formed. We've got the jump on the, so the basalt would have been lava millennia before the sandstone was laid down, is my understanding. We've got the jump on the tour buses this morning. I've arrived, I think, about an hour before they get here. So the first time I came here, this place was crawling with people. And while it's fabulous to get some fool sitting on the edge here so that I can take their photo. I'm sure we prefer to have the place to ourselves. Hi, Katie. Hi, Kerry. So this is probably that basalt that you're talking about, Susanna, but again, I don't know. I'm really no expert at this. Hi, Ed. What I will do is show you a photo of what I look like sitting right at that point. Let me see. Here we go. That was me sitting there. I look closer than I actually am. I was a good couple of meters away. If anyone's new to Heygo and is not familiar with the in-chat images that I post, you can tap on that picture and expand it to fill your screen. Hi, Gregory. Hi, Eva. So yes, that's the spot that you'll see in all the social media. And you'll see images. If you just Google or Instagram Lincoln Rock or Flat Rock, Wentworth Falls, you'll see hundreds of photos of people with their legs dangling over that point there. All right, I'm going to go this way, go around, because I don't want to clamber down there. So at this point, Wentworth Falls, we're at about 950 metres above sea level. Let's see. Someone has conveniently broken this dead branch off. So I can get through. So here you get to see the, this is the rock. You get to see all the different kinds of rock here. For everything from, I think they call that conglomerate, don't they? This sort of stuff. With the sandstone. We need Andre here to help us figure it all out. He's really good at identifying all these different kinds of rock. And there's even car ads where they've brought a car up here on top of this rock. It's rained recently, so the little water holes have collected water. Let me see if I can get to a spot where my shadow isn't in the frame. And I might even be able to get those cliffs in the background. There we go. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Millie. Thanks, Gregory. Yeah, it is. I agree. It's stunning. So the literal spot where people sit and dangle their legs over is right about there. It doesn't look like much from this point, does it? That's that spot right there. That's the pointy bit. There's carvings all over the place, Jane. In fact, so we not only have this sort of thing, and this sort of thing. But there's one couple that appears to have been coming every year to this spot over a 20-year period, starting from Fu was here. Did you see Fu? I missed Fu. So it looks like D and J, maybe, have been coming here every year since 1978. Hi, Elaine. 79, 80, 81, 82. Every year they've been coming here. I hope I'm not about to step backwards off the edge. No, I'm away from the edge. It's the other way. 1990, 1991. Where does it end? 94. I wonder why they stopped. I wonder why they stopped coming. Yeah. Morning, Cindy. See, there you get to see. That's the pointy bit. That's the pointy bit that people stick their legs out over for their photo. You ran out of the room. Come on, you're nice and safe where you are. I'm taking all the risks for you guys. Oh, is that Foo there? Oh yeah, there's Foo. There's Foo there. Oh, right. Now I understand, Tricia. Sorry. Yeah, it could be. Maybe they started in a different spot and I've just missed it. This piece is interesting. It's almost like a sculpture trail, isn't it? Nature's sculpture trail. Doesn't look like much from this side. You have to really trust your partner to continue coming up so close to the edge year after year. Gregory. Well, that's true. Or maybe one pushed the other on over. Didn't want to leave evidence. Love you guys. All right, so this one here just looks like a big rock from this angle, doesn't it? But then when we go around this side, it actually looks like a bench. It actually looks like someone has deliberately placed this here as a spot to sit, take a break, bring your thermos up. Thermos and sandwiches. Here we go. Great spot to just sort of chill. Maybe while you're waiting for the sunset. In fact, that'd be a great spot to sit, to watch the sunset. Look at that. Just over here, looking straight to the west. Oh, Tricia, Tiffany, sorry. That's I don't accept that title. That's a bit much. Okay. Kathy, absolutely, totally understand. All right, so let's come over here. This is a spot where people love to sit and watch the sunset, actually, right here. I've seen photos of them sitting at that spot there because in this direction is where the sun dips over the horizon. Speaking of important days, I did look up what day in history the 12th of September is, because of here, of course, I know in the Americas it's still the 11th, and 9/11 being an important day, and it's 21 years since the events of September 11, 2001. September the 12th is a date that I looked up to see what happened on that day. And one that's caught my attention was that in 1940, 4 teenagers followed their dog down a hole in an area of France and discovered 17,000-year-old rock paintings, which comes to be known as the Lascaux Caves. So that's kind of relevant, isn't it? 1940, that was. And wouldn't it be amazing if We're about to head down to a little cave right now. Wouldn't it be amazing if ancient rock paintings that had never been discovered before were found in the caves that actually do lie underneath this rock platform? Hi, Ilian, is it? And Deborah. Okay, so this is a path that the tourist buses don't know about and won't take you to. The drivers may know about it, but they won't take you here. We're just about to duck down this little track. Let me just show you kind of where we're headed. So you can kind of see the edge of the rock platform here. We're about to go down there. All right. So you're all going to hold my hand as it's not unsafe. I can assure everybody it's not unsafe. It's a little bit tricky. There's some loose stones and we do have to go down. We'll come back up the same way. So here's the path here that we're going to go down. So I just need to watch my step. Good morning, KC and CH. You can see that, so you see what I meant, it's a little bit tricky. So you watch the view while I watch my feet. And I have done this many, many, many times. Just need to take care. Watch exactly where you're placing your feet. Hi, Chelsea. Okay, so we can see this overhang here. And the odd thing about it is, and it's only rumour, no one knows for sure, nothing's ever been documented or proved, but the rumour is that during one of the world wars, and even that is a rumour, I think, when we used to inter foreign citizens of foreign nations, such as foreign unfriendly nations, such as Germany, that someone hid away here and made this their home rather than being locked up as an unfriendly or foreign alien. And there's even what looks like a bath. This has been bricked up here, and there's even plumbing of a sort. You can see the pipe. So where that comes from, goodness only knows. There we go. So someone appears to have made this their home for more than just, an overnight stay. It wasn't just camping. They bricked up the entrance, and there's evidence that there was a door here. Wouldn't want to sleepwalk. And there's even ceramic pipes here. Look at this. So I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of this cave was, but it's certainly semi-permanent. Imagine if we followed our dog, which I don't have a dog, by the way, just so you know, down this hole and found thousands of years old cave paintings. Not many. There'd be lizards, and perhaps the wallabies that don't mind clambering up rocks, that sort of thing. You go first. All right, I'm going to try and adjust the exposure. Here we go, that's better. And then we'll move back so that you can get rock wallabies. Yes, we have swamp wallabies and we have red-necked wallabies. Okay, now if I slowly walk back, we're trying to look for a postcard that has the cave, the outline of the cave, framing the image. So I'm just going to walk back as far as I can so that you can get a perfect snapshot here. Postcard. How's that looking? Oh, I'm about to bump my head on something. I think I've almost got the top of the cave in there. That's about the best I could do. There you go. You might have got a couple of good postcards out of that. Beautiful day. Look at that. Gorgeous day. Now, who's ready for another adventure? Or an attempt at one? We're not going to go all the way, but I want to check something out. It's tugging on my I've got it connected to a battery pack, and it's tugging on the cord. There we go. Right, now, somewhere up here, there's another cave. I've been researching all last night where this other cave is. And there are photos everywhere where people have climbed up to this other cave, taken photos from inside it. But I don't know where it would be. That's not big enough. Can't be that. Looking at the gorgeous rock formation while we're here. Yeah, the photos I saw had someone actually sitting on the edge with the full outline of the cave surrounding them. Just go a little bit further this way. And then I'm definitely not going to make any attempt to go up there. Oh, I found it. There it is. Okay. We're going to go down here so that we can look up. We're going to go down to that spot there safely. I'll be away from the edge. I'm not going to go close to the edge. But from there, I'll be able to look up at this other cave. And who knows, on another tour, if I have my helper with me, I can send him up there with the camera and he can take the photo. All right. And I know Susanna's chastising me. I can feel it. But we're being very safe, Susanna, I promise. I'm actually hanging on to something with my other hand right now. Okay. Oh, let me see. Check out the lay of the land from here. Oh, thanks, Mary. Oh, Marg. Sorry, Marg. I've got the hair blowing in front of my face. All right. Let's see. I can go a couple of steps more. Down here. And then we'll look up. All right. Here. I'm safe. Just want to reassure everybody before I look up that I am safe. I'm well back from the edge, and I'm not going any closer, and I'm not going to lean backwards. In fact, I'll deliberately lean forward. I'll put my foot up on this rock here and deliberately lean forward. Okay, look at this, everyone. So that's the cave that they climb up to and get that money shot. I've seen sunset photos from that spot with the outline of the cave around them. So I'm glad I found it. I don't think I'll be climbing up there. That just looks... I tell you what, if I was 30 years younger, I would definitely give that a go. But you won't find me climbing up there. And that's literally under... Do you recall we looked along the edge of the rock line at that point? That's where we were actually looking along the top of the rock line. And just in behind that foliage there is the first cave. Not in this second one. It's too exposed and open. That would be a wind-eroded cave, I would imagine. Oh, well, Cliss, I'm very well. Thank you for asking. Busy with work. Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? So that's the spot. Don't know how successful you'll be. Maybe if you look up Lincoln Rock Cave, something like that, you might find that on social media with those views. If you can imagine sitting in that cave, looking out over here at sunset, that would be amazing. And perhaps if I was younger, perhaps hubby could climb up. Yes, I was thinking exactly the same, Susanna. Do you reckon? Do you reckon he'd do it? He's actually got a fear of heights. Well, there's that. Gregory, I don't know how mobile I'll be then. All right. Okay, so who's going to join me clambering back up? I want to show you some of these beautiful Australian wildflowers before we do. This one's really pretty. I think this is a different one. It looks like a different colour. Maybe the same thing. Aren't they pretty? All these wildflowers starting to come out now. That's the beauty of Hago, isn't it, Casey? That's the beauty of Hago, is that you can travel and feel like you're really there from the comfort of your own living room. Regardless of whether you lack the means through either finance or mobility. And for some people, it's just that they don't like travelling on a plane, the distances that are involved to get to the other side of the world. Flannel flowers, I haven't seen any around here. I'm on the constant lookout for them because I love them, but I haven't seen any. So that's where we were. We were standing just down there on that little platform there. And I've several times I've stood here looking at it going, oh, yeah, maybe I should go down there, and thought better of it. But now we know where that cave is. All right, let's head on back up. Did you all get good postcards? I'm counting on you. As I said, you're my camera and I'm your legs. Perfect. Excellent. All right. That breeze is chilly today. Here's another shot of the cave before we head back up again. The first cave. Oh, why is my camera doing that? There we go. That's better. Well, Fliss, do it. Start saving. Put aside a date and save up your holiday days. Come on over. All right, this is the hard bit, getting back up this part. So again, just chat amongst yourselves while I tackle this path back up. Oh, where are we? There's two ways I can go here. I'm never sure which is easiest. I think we go to the right. Would be the easiest way to go. These are flannel flower plants, I think here, Susanna and Fliss. Oh, I do see some tiny little flowers. Here we go. Yes, we got lucky. Just around here. There we go. There's some flannel flowers for you. And for those who don't know, the reason it's called a flannel flower is it literally feels like very soft flannel. It has a beautiful, beautiful feel to it. There we go. So I found a little patch. These flowers are quite tiny, so I wonder if it's because of the exposed location up here on Lincoln Rock that causes them to not flourish as they do in other areas. Okay, here again you can see the really red new foliage of this stunted or dwarf she oak. Is it cold there today like winter, Casey? It's it was about 6 degrees when I pulled up. So not cold, but the wind was quite chilly. My hands were very cold when I first started the tour. You want to go to Scotland? Yep, go to Scotland. Scotland's beautiful. So many places in the world, so many places on my bucket list. Good morning, Lords. All right, so, oh, this is interesting. It's another rock like the first one, like the armchair. I'll go and test the comfort of it, shall I? I should bring my own cushion. Have a little sit down. I think I will. I should bring my thermos and croissants with me when I come, shouldn't I? Here we go. Here's our little armchair here. Okay. And I thought this was really interesting as well. So Charles Darwin came through this area when he travelled to Australia. I think, was his ship the Beagle, something like that? It was called the Beagle. And thank you, Gregory. I appreciate your support. Did I miss another tip earlier? I hope I didn't. As in I love your tips and thank you very much. Kerry, there you are. Thank you. I appreciate all your support. Very grateful. All right. Well, I can't remember how long I allocated to this tour. I can't remember if I allocated 45 minutes or an hour, but you're welcome to walk back to, we've been going for 49 minutes. Yes, I think you're right, Fliss. I don't think it is any longer. I think they've changed their branding. Oh, here we go. Blue Mountain City Council uses, just need to hang on to my battery pack. Blue Mountain City Council uses the image of the gum leaf alongside an image representing the different increasing altitudes of each mountain village. I'm always mindful of you, Susanna, and other voyagers who I know have their own nervousness around heights, but are also thinking of my welfare. And just want to reassure everybody that I am always mindful of my own safety in every situation. Always try to be careful. Here, I want to show you this. This is another angle of that one that we thought looked like a stream running through. This is such an interesting shape. I'll just pop up there and show you from the other side. How do I get to there? This way. Can't step back any further, unfortunately. Here we go. Let's see how we go. It actually looks like a pathway through there, doesn't it? But it's the natural formation of the rock. Hi, Sue and Katie, just joined. Thinking of my ankles. Oh, tell me about it. I'm constantly thinking of my ankles and knees and other parts. Thanks for the follow, Connie. And for anybody else, if you've enjoyed my tour and you're not already doing so, please consider following me. You will get notifications in your Heygo app when I post a new tour, or I sometimes post little notes about a change I may have made, or just a reminder of something coming up. Thanks, Barb. I appreciate your support. I really do. So tomorrow I've got a brand new tour I haven't done before. We'll be going out to a place called Mount York. And Mount York is the highest point before the mountains fall dramatically down into the Hartley Valley. And it's where the celebrations commemorating the first crossing by the white explorers. So I think I'm pointing at the road, aren't I? Let's get this up a little bit. So it's where all the celebrations were held, 100 years from the first crossing. There's commemorations all over the place. There's an obelisk, and there's a plaque, and there's a rock, and there's just stuff everywhere, celebrating white man's achievement in crossing the range, because it was so important to Sydney to open up agricultural land. The land of Sydney is actually quite impoverished. It's not ideal for cropping or pasture. So opening up the lands west of the Great Dividing Range made a huge impact on the new colony. So we'll be going to the spot tomorrow. It's got magnificent views, absolutely incredible views. And you'll see all the different ways that the crossing was celebrated. Excuse my huffing and puffing. We're on a gradual incline here back to the car park. And what am I doing on Wednesday? I'm trying to remember. Thursday, I know I've got my car in for service, so I'm not doing anything on Thursday. Trying to think, I can't remember what I'm doing on Wednesday, but I have tours lined up every day this week apart from Thursday. Okay. All right, so here we are. Let's have another look at that view before we get back to the car. Friday, I'm back at Echo Point to see the Three Sisters. And the 22nd, what day of the week is that? I think it's a Thursday. 22nd, I'm actually going down to Sydney to do a harbour, Opera House, Harbour Bridge and ferry tour. It's a special request but still publicly available. So it's a special request tour for a group of ladies, and they all work for the same organisation. It's been organised by a lady in Texas. What's happened since, however, is that our Prime Minister has announced the 22nd as a National Day of Mourning. So the tour will still go ahead, but I may need to just be a little bit flexible. I'm not exactly sure what impact making that National Day of Mourning and public holiday is going to have on number of people in the city, availability of public transport. I have no idea. So we're just going to have to be flexible on that day. Do you do tours so you can go for a walk also? Yes, absolutely, Fliss. Of course. It's great motivation for me. And as my channel name is, I love to explore. Okay, so you are helping me get out there and do that. Ruth Park book is super helpful for tours. I'll have to keep a lookout for that. All right, everybody, we're back at the spot where I started. These little birds are still coming through, and at this point I'm going to bid you all farewell and wish you a great rest of the day. Let me see, I want to get a spot where the sun isn't causing havoc and I'm not being blinded. Good compromise. There we go. Yeah, I put this thing around my head this morning because it was so cold around my ears. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining me this morning. Always welcome your company and appreciate the conversation. Appreciate the interaction that we have when we do my tours together. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow if you're able, or on another tour another day. Thank you all. Bye for now.